Welcome back, my fine football friends. We had a wonderful trade wars matchup that the U.S. won handily. But I want to first talk about China because there are some things that they did very well. You may have noticed that the U.S. were offside 7 times in this match. I've been asked before, is that a reflection on the forwards? Is it more a reflection on the defense? Well, here I think it was China just doing this incredibly well continually. And there's multiple ways that they did it, which is why I want to do a little breakdown for what's happening with the offside dealio here. So the first thing is China was using very frequently what's called a high line. So what does that mean? This back line here, the back three, they are pushed very high up the pitch away from their goalie. And I mean, gosh, they are about as close to, about as high as you could reasonably be with the U.S. in possession. What I find really interesting about this is typically when teams run a high line, they do it so they can push, the forwards up higher, the midfield up higher. China are still really compact in this look. So I find that interesting. And when the lines highlight this, it's just hard. It's hard for Macario. It's hard for Heaps. There's no space here. How are you supposed to run into the space when there isn't any? So this is a team that have watched what the U.S. have been doing. They've seen how transitional they are, and this is part of their way to deal with it, and it worked for them very well. The other thing I really liked is China did not just run a high line the whole time. This is a very different style of offside here. This is the offside trap specifically. It's really not easy to do it all. It's very impressive to see it done. So I think this is our captain here, but she is definitely the defensive captain. So she is calling the movement for the whole line. And what you're going to see is she sticks her arm out as there's potential, right? As we're breaking, as the U.S. are breaking, we know that Heap's going to try running behind. Makario's going to try running behind. So she's saying, wait, hold. That's what that arm is saying. Hold, hold, hold. And you're going to see as soon as she pulls that down, this player here are going to step up, and they are waiting to try and time it so that as soon as Kat Macario sets off in one direction, they set off in the other direction. It's obviously insanely high risk, but when it works, I mean, it's a lot of distance. It's very clearly offside, hard to do, but well executed and good for them. So how are you supposed to deal with this as a player? Well, I think it takes a little bit of work adjustment from the midfield and the forwards to adjust their timing. And then also from the forwards to kind of like curve and just change the momentum, the timing, the line of their run a little bit. I think one of the players that did this best by far was Michelle Cooper. So on this example, China's going to play Kat Macario offside again, but I don't think the call is fully correct here. And please, there's so many people that know so much more than me, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I don't think the offside flag is supposed to go up until an actual offside offense is committed, which would mean Macario touches the ball, she interferes with a Chinese defender's ability to touch the ball. And you're going to see Cooper here, just follow her as she runs up. Really smart, really, really great awareness, realizing that Macario hasn't touched that. That's a live ball for Cooper, and she has a good fight there. Just clever little things like that. And then I've got another clip from much, much earlier where you're going to see Cooper modify her run. So she's going to come really fast, then slow down a little bit, and then go really fast again. And that is all just in response to having to time the offside run, avoid the offside a little bit better. It is like a fraction, but it was really, really good. And the other thing I really loved, the only 2 offsides committed by the U.S. in the second half, Emma Sears, Ali Sentnor, who came into the match. So clearly the U.S. has used that halftime to figure out what was happening and resolve it. Excellent stuff. I like how I saw the U.S. deal with China's attempt to neutralize their transitional attack, but I also think the U.S. looked really good in combination play. I just love seeing these sequences of quick passes. Everything looked so fluid and connected, and I think the team worked really well in the 18-yard box. Again, it's China, but honestly, some of this was quite a lot better than what I think we've seen in the past. This was my favorite sequence. I mean, gosh, they just get across the 18-yard box so quickly there. And again, it takes a little bit of time for things to connect and go right, but the first 20 minutes, it just looked so nice. I want to touch on the counter prevent we're seeing here as well a little bit. I think there's maybe a little bit of noise around, the U.S. didn't have to do much defending this match, but I kind of think that's junk. I think they played a complete game. I think they defended incredibly well. In this sequence, they're just defending a little bit higher up, right? So Sonnet there, really good job. Dunn, really good job. I mean, gosh, look at this. Just giving her absolutely nowhere to go. Johannes, fantastic. Really, really good in this match against China. And then Cooper, full effort. So this is just a super complete game, super high effort from all these players, and it did not take long at all for things to pay off. I mean, gosh, look, Coffee just had a fantastic game. I don't have enough praise for all of these players. Everybody looked really good. And again, a little sloppy here, but what does it matter? The same general principle, right, is what got you there. Create and combine, cross that in from the right wing to the far post. That's all it took for a lot of it. And I think the adjustments happened quickly. Talked about how the midfielders and the forwards have to work together to deal with that offside trap. Well, look at Johannes do that so beautifully with Thompson. And the one question I have here is, I mean, take a look at Johannes, and I really think Thompson is going to be the last player that she takes a good look at. I think this pass was intended for Thompson and not Patterson, which, right there, she looks through. If that's the case, that's disgusting. All right, to look at that Chinese defender and say, I'm going to wrap this ball around the outside of her, it's sick. It's gnarly. It's just not right. Great ball in from Thompson. Kat McCarry just does her thing. Coffee just does her thing. I love it. And what I love is every player gets to do what they're best at in this sequence, right? We have Alyssa Thompson with a really great one-on-one to get around that corner. Kat McCarry with a great first touch and set. And then Coffee, we know she can do that. And hey, look how similar this looks to earlier. This is my favorite thing about this team. They problem solve in matches, and you can see it. You can see them finding like the patterns, the tools, and techniques that they need in game. It's really, really good stuff. Oh, man. No, we're not doing no software update. Okay. I do want to go back and just give PTJ a little bit of credit here because I think she had a good game too. Just a nice little bit of hesitation here, right? We saw how compact China were earlier, and it was not very often that the U.S. got them in these situations. And so everybody is doing a really good job to move their folks. And I think PTJ just has a really great read here, but really patient to bring her girl in and make sure she's sending this to the exact right spot. And very quickly, the U.S. can create something out of this. I mean, that's crazy, that pop-on header and just how quickly this all breaks. Michelle Cooper, by the way, fantastic game. I don't have enough praise for like half of these players. It was such a good match from so many folks. I love this goal. It's vintage heap. She makes it look so easy. My favorite thing, though, is this run from Alyssa Thompson is pure magic. She's gotten so intelligent in her play. One of my earliest gripes, and, you know, she's always been a fantastic player, but I think very early on, she just did not have her head up enough and she did not take in enough information. And she absolutely does it here. You're going to see her look to heaps and recognize that, you know, this has worked all night for them, right? They cross it in from the right wing to the far post. Fantastic. But Alyssa Thompson is a little bit wee, and she is also potentially about to be a little bit outnumbered in the box. So she does a really, really smart thing. She's going to change her run once she checks on heaps, and it allows her to keep her momentum. She never stops moving, never slows down, totally frees up that space for her. And I mean, it's insane. Who's this girl marking at this point? Nobody. Not one person. So again, same thing, right? Combinations. People get to do what they're good at. Cooper has an incredible run. Heaps has a great header. Like, this team is just rolling and grooving right now. They look so good, and I am so enjoying it. I thank you for being here. I know it's been a little bit slow on the videos recently. Really hoping to get that fixed soon. I'm really, really hoping we get some player evaluations out of the Jamaica match. I have a feeling we are going to, so that should be a good video. We'll get a full look at some of the new folks. So thank you for being here, and I will see you soon.